I'm looking up. How do I click up? Can you?
All right, guys, it's a nice day outside. It's a Saturday. Decided to take my, what I like to call a vintage car. This is a 98 Honda Civic EX in the lowest mileage I could have possibly found. This car has under 51,000 miles at this point, all original. Purchased it from a single owner, and I've had it for about a year at this point. I've put on about 500 to 600 miles, so you could tell it's basically still in pristine shape. We're just gonna take a little bit of a walk around and go for a quick cruise in the car. Let's go. All right, guys, so right now we're just gonna take a short look at the engine bay here. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna see what we got. All right, so this is a pretty straightforward Honda engine right here. This is a 1.6 liter VTEC. VTEC is standard in all of the EX models. If you're shopping for a used Honda Civic, try to get the EX. It is the higher trim level, and you do get the VTEC, although engine displacement is always 1.6 on this generation of Honda Civic. This particular engine is fairly clean, as you could tell. There's no obvious or weird oil leaks or marks or anything. It's as original as possible. The wings are original. This car has not been in any accidents. Battery's in good shape. I don't see any super obvious signs of massive rust. So for a nearly 20-year-old car, I would say this engine is close to as good and in original condition as you can expect. The trunk is pretty large for such a small car. Honestly, as you could tell, it's pretty big. The seats do fold right there in the bottom. We could tell that we have a spare tire in original shape. No weird cracks, creases, or marks. And that's why I know for a fact that the back here, well, as far as the chassis of the car, is fine. Let's check out the back seat space, see what and how it feels like. All right. Not bad. The seat is basically as far as it will go. This is normally how I drive, and I have an okay amount of space. I can't say it's terrible in here. Of course, it's nowhere near luxury, but it feels all right for a very small, compact car. The door handles are really nice, comfortable. I like the trim and I like the shape. It's pretty soft plastic right here. This is the only hard part. The rest of this is soft. And you have this nice little fabric here going on. Nice. All right, so now we're gonna go for a little bit of a spin and see what it looks like, right? All right, guys. So I'm out on another drive, my 98 Civic EX. Hopefully we get a little bit of a high-speed run in here. I'm gonna get on the expressway for a little bit, see what the RPMs are like, and see how it rides at highway speeds. Right now I'm doing 30. RPM is under 2,000. Car is nice and smooth. No obvious wind noises. Sound insulation feels pretty adequate for a car of this caliber. I must say, in modern economy cars, the sound insulation is not even there. It's horrible. At highway speeds, modern cars, mainly economy vehicles, are just atrocious, in my opinion. Transmission shifts smooth. Nothing to concern yourself with here. Now we're going to be going up sort of an incline right here. It's a fairly steep hill. I'm maintaining about 34 miles an hour at about 2,300 RPM. Car does not seem to be struggling. And I must say, the amount of rolling momentum it has is just wonderful. It rolls really smoothly, freely. You don't always have to keep accelerating just to keep your speed up. That makes for a fairly comfortable drive. Alright, red light. Here we go, green. And I'm just driving normally. Shift's nice. No one's passing me by at this moment in time. There we go. No jerking, no weird sensations from the transmission. It just does what it needs to do every single time. And that's just, you know, Honda reliability for you. Rolling smoothly, 35, little over 1,000 RPM, great. There you go. Nice Corvette just passed me by right here. Looks like its exhaust was basically on the floor. Any bump it hits and it's over. And as you could tell, I'm driving smoothly. I'm not really revving the engine much. I keep it under 3,000 RPM almost at all times. Don't really like to go above the 3K. You know, it is an old car. Reliability is one thing, but age is also another. You know, age takes a lot away from cars. That's a fact. You know, all the seasons, the hot and cold cycles they go through, they stand outside, really takes away a lot. So, you know, kind of don't criticize me for driving slow if you think I am. I'm basically just making sure this car is around for another good number of years while I have it, and hopefully someone else will enjoy it in the future. The dash is pretty accurate here. I actually like the way it looks right here. I don't have any lights on. RPM is steady. Engine idles beautifully. There's no issues with any kind of RPM fluctuation or nothing. In terms of temperature, basically it's normal right now. That's where the needle almost always is. The only thing I've noticed is the fuel gauge. It's a little bit irregular. Right now it says I have about, you know, 1/3 of a tank, and that's pretty accurate, but usually the tanks are fairly irregularly sized, so the way that the float picks up and sends signal is kind of inaccurate. But you know, I've never run into a situation where I thought it was a situation. Obviously everything else works. If your fuel was truly very low, then you would have the low fuel warning. And this is quite a long red light. Ah, thank God. Here we go. And I accelerate normally. Engine has a nice sounding engine exhaust note, although everything here is stock. Honda engines are known to have this kind of a nice sounding engine. Now, of course, half of that could be attributed to the fact that there's, you know, relatively low sound insulation in these vehicles. They are economy cars. But, you know, you take what you can get, right? Here we are, we're doing the speed limit here. And soon we're going to be merging onto the expressway. Hopefully the traffic isn't ridiculous. It's usually just so ridiculous that, you know, it makes you want to kind of sit and pray. Even if you don't, you will be when you hit this traffic. Here we go, rolling right along, doing 30. I'm not even touching the throttle. Engine's idling beautifully. and we're going to be getting ready to merge onto the freeway right here, and eventually, undoubtedly, we're going to hit a lot of traffic, in which case, you know, I'm going to be fairly depressed. But that's just the reality of living in New York City, guys. There we go, doing 45, merging on. Hopefully we can get up to 50 at least to see what the RPM is like in the overdrive gear. Right now we're still in 4th gear. Eventually we'll shift to overdrive, and it should be under 2,000. Right now we're exactly 2,000 and we're doing 50. Alright, so it just shifted, I felt it. We're about 2,000, doing 55. Pretty good engine RPM for a small car. You know, obviously if you get a more powerful vehicle today, you could do 60 at 2K RPM, but for a Honda, this is not bad. You know, 60, you will be at basically 2,500 RPM. At 70, you're going to be way up there. But the 5-speed stick shifts are even higher ratioed transmissions, meaning you'll be way up there in the RPM range. I remember my Acura Integra at 60 was doing like 3,500 RPM. It was basically undrivable at that point. Obviously, fuel economy was out of the window, of course. But here, yeah, no problems. You know, keeping up with traffic until we hit all the traffic, that is. And I'm going to cut this video short because I've arrived, right? And by arrived, I mean stuck. This is basically going to be some serious congestion going on. There's absolutely no movement.